I've recently joined a therapy group,
Yeah.
and in it, they have a text that we follow along with, and there's a list of skills that they use. And there are two that kind of stood out to me that seem similar to at least the way I've taken non-duality in, which was there's a skill called radical acceptance, which is they say accepting what is in order to cope better, basically. Um, and the other one was wise mind, which is balancing the thought and emotions and seeing that neither one is to have dominance, I guess, to
Mm.
try to be more neutral about it.
Mm.
Uh, And so my question though is, being that there is no self, apparent things like therapy may arise that may provide apparent help, but it's I still get stuck on this, like, how much do I have to try to engage? Like, I can go to therapy, but then when I'm home in my free time, what do I do? Do I get up and exercise, or do I just sit like I usually do? So there's still that thing of like pushing myself. And I think if there's no self, who am I pushing, or does it just happen by itself? So I'm trying to engage with therapy, but I know that non-duality is not a therapy and can't be applied.
Mm.
So um, I'm just kind of stuck in that like no doer versus responsibility piece.
Mm. Mm. Do you think it's great that you're going to therapy?
Yeah,
Therapy
no,
isn't in opposition to non-duality, like often people think it is. Like, who is there to work on? So, who would do therapy? And that's seen as absolutely not the case from here. So, therapy to me is working on the habits and the conditions of the body mind mechanism. And that exists prior to awakening and after awakening. You'll always have habits and conditions. What the shift is the realization and the shift from that being you. That that is an experience happening in you. But who you are is this empty looking. So working on your habits and conditions is the same as, like working on the body, or learning to become a mathematician, or tidying the house. So the body is a machine, you could say, and that machine is producing these habits and conditions. It works from these habits and conditions. So say if we had a robot with an AI in it, and the way that AIs are functioning, I think, at the moment, is that we program them to evolve by themselves. So the AI learns things about its surrounding, and then, or whatever it's taught or programmed to learn, and then evolves from that. So if it's a cleaning AI robot, it would learn over time how to clean your place better by evolving, by information that you tell it. And that's its programming, and that's not who it is. But that's what we see, and that's what we name as. So if we named this robot AI called Harry, we would believe that there is a Harry identity in there after a while. We'd begin to get confused and think that it was alive and existed and it was called Harry. And that's what's happened with these bodies. So these bodies are like machines functioning. And then we name them because they're all unique and they've all got particular ways of being. Like my machine, Lisa, is so different from your machine, and then different from the next person's machines. There's no two machines the same. And then we believe that's a person, and that's an entity, and that person and consciousness are one and the same thing. Whereas actually there is a consciousness watching that person. and that consciousness is free. The person will never be free. The person is, in a way, habits and conditions that are evolving. So they're conditioned, so they'll never be free. When we say that freedom is complete non-conditions, the end of conditions, and consciousness is love. Consciousness and this I am, this beingness, is absolute love, and it's unconditioned. It's no thing and it's all things. It's experiencing, but yet there is no experiencer. You could even go so deep into that experiencing that you could also say there is equally no experiencing happening. It's all words. So I can't actually say how things are. I can only be pointing because the words are so incomplete. So the way that choice works, oh sorry, okay, you can speak now, I've been going.
Oh, I appreciate what you're saying. I'm curious to hear what you'll say about choice. I just was going to say that it seems to me that from the moment we're born, we're like a sticky mirror that takes on things in its environment that become part of our like genes that turn on and express or don't. So, and kind of just like a bunch of synapses firing off randomly based on the environment. So I'm not really doing it. It's just like a big light.
Yeah, Eric, do you know, I think it might be better if you take your headset out. I think your headset's a little bit dodgy. I know I normally say always wear your headset, but hopefully it'll be okay if you take it out.
Oh yeah, I'm on speakerphone. Right.
Oh, you're on speaker, so you haven't got a headset. And yeah, maybe just go nearer to the Wi-Fi then, a little bit nearer, if you can.
Right. Yeah.
It's okay
Well,
though. It's not so bad. I can hear you quite well. So uh, so choice. We believe once again, or there is this identification with choice, and we believe that it's our choice and that we're choosing. Whereas actually, choice is a mechanism that's updating the machine. So by the contemplation prior to choice, we're actually updating the machine of information. So say if we're going to choose a house, by contemplating the choice, so by contemplating how it was built, when it was built, what materials it was built with, how many times it's been sold before, where it's situated, all these types of things, the price. We are actually updating the machine, Lisa, the body-mind mechanism, the habits and the conditions. We're updating it to help it evolve to make a more updated choice. But it's not somebody's choice. So if we update ourselves about the information of houses, so we're picking through 2 different houses, which one to buy, by updating the computer of information about the houses, it then allows us to make a more sophisticated choice. And that's the same with Siri. Say, if you give Siri more information, then Siri can respond with a more accurate answer. But Siri doesn't think I exist and I'm making a choice. It just uses that information to help it select whatever we're asking it for. So choice making is a way of updating these machines all the time. So say we're picking what's for dinner. By learning about what's healthy for the body, by learning about what's not healthy, will affect the choice making process when it comes to dinner. But it's not anybody's choice. That's something that's happening. It's a functioning that's happening. What the storyteller tells is that it's my choice and I've got to make a choice. And then it can get very neurotic about the choice making because it believes that my happiness is dependent on the choice I make. It's all kind of like neurotic thinking based on false ideas a lot of the time around choices. And choice making is also something that we're taught by our parents. So if you're not conditioned by your parents to be confident in your choice making, then you'll more than likely be a unconfident choice maker. If you're conditioned to be an overly confident choice maker by your parents, then you'll more than likely be overly confident. And that's a process that we learn, like early in childhood. So ideally, we don't want parents that are dictating to us what we do. We want parents that are helping us explore what it is we want and don't want. But the parents still need to tell us things to do and not do, so things like brushing the teeth. But rather than the parent dictating, like you have to brush your teeth now, it's like helping the child make that choice for itself. And explaining to the child and repetitively doing that, it might be years before the child decides it wants to brush its teeth by itself. But it's not dictating it, it's this encouragement, but encouragement for it to make its own choice. The same with food, because eventually that child will become independent and has to navigate choice making, and choice making is very directly linked to personality, because what we choose creates personality. But again, this is all personal, it doesn't belong to anyone. So what I mean by it creates personality, it's like what you choose, it creates your living situation, which is what we call the person. So whether you're a doctor, whether you've got a home, whether you've got money, partner, children, what else is there? Dog. Whether you play board games or you like this or you like that, like choice making is fundamental to the character and the personality. But it's not personal. There isn't anyone doing that. That's happening. It's a functioning happening of the body. And in this moment, choices come from nowhere. But when you look in time, so when you use your mind, you can see that choices are an endless succession that date back right to the beginning of time. So this choice now to call me relied on everything that came before, right? The dinosaurs, the Stone Age, the Big Bang, humans learning language, the education system, the internet being created. So you didn't actually make an independent choice that belonged to you. Like your choice is a succession of everything, which is really beautiful. It's love. Your words now are a result of everything.
Yeah, that's beautiful. It leaves me really wordless, actually.
Yeah. So that's beautiful that you say that leaves me wordless. And that's how the humans speak. So I would say me too. It leaves me wordless. But the awakening is this deep knowing that that's not who you are. That's what the body does. That's how the body functions. That's how the body speaks in society. Like it's not appropriate to say, my body agrees with you. the Lisa character agrees with you. But there's this deep knowing that what's looking now isn't you as a person. What's looking now is absolutely mysterious. It's no place and all places simultaneously.
Yeah, it's beautiful, that sense of non-location. It makes me think of like a disco ball.
Yeah, I never heard that before. It's sweet.
Well, thank you for your time, Lisa. Again, it's just been interesting to observe the progression and being in this therapy group and finding like that while I question doership, there's still a sense of it, and I can allow for that experience to be what it is, and
Mm.
to and um, watch apparent changes happen. And I don't know, just
Mm. And just also contemplate, like there's always going to be the appearance of choice in the personality. Ramesh Balsakar used to say, if the person didn't feel like it could choose, it would feel like it was caged. So the personalities of the body mind. So it's important that the body mind feels like it's choosing, even though it's not. And he used to say, that's the ingenious design of God. It gives the appearance that the puppet is free to play in whatever way it wants to play.
yeah. I I guess the most concise phrase for me is chop wood, carry water, because nothing really changes.
Mm. I wonder if we updated that to a modern one, what it would be. Like that comes from, like maybe hundreds of years ago, and that was more what we did in daily life. So what would it be in this day, in this life, like this more modern life?
Go to the bathroom and send emails.
Yeah. Go to the bathroom. Emails, bathroom, emails, bathroom. Nice. Yeah, thanks, Eric. Really beautiful, the questions. I really enjoyed speaking with you.
Likewise, I appreciate it, Lisa. Thank you for your
Yeah,
time.
yeah, lots of love. Bye.